real estate is the field of network, and referral sources and things like that as well. So at that time it was a team, and me, I'm seeing these guys, okay, they're doing great.
You're listening to the We Love Equity Real Estate Show, a podcast that discusses the intricacies of real estate investing with your host, Marcus E. Maloney. Marcus is a real estate investor best known for being the equity king. He's been awarded that moniker because he and his team find amazing real estate deals. He will be talking with investors who have done some transformational things in the real estate industry. They'll discuss their process, their strategies, and how their investments transform their lives and the communities they invest in. We welcome you to the We Love Equity Real Estate Show.
The We Love Equity Show is brought to you by 𝐓𝐀𝐊𝐄𝐀𝐖𝐀𝐘𝐒, widely recognized as an outstanding resource for real estate investors with exceptional education, networking, and support, along with profit-enhancing benefits in all aspects of real estate investing. Visit 𝐓𝐀𝐊𝐄𝐀𝐖𝐀𝐘𝐒 at www.𝐓𝐀𝐊𝐿𝐄𝐀𝐿 That's visit 𝐓𝐀𝐊𝐿 at www.𝐓𝐀𝐊𝐿𝐄𝐀𝐿.org. Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. We love equity real estate listeners. On today, I hope you're having a wonderful and awesome day, because every day is a great day and an opportunity for you to do more than you did the day before. So on today, I want to share a special guest with you. I want to share one of my close friends, partners, business associates, actually best friend, who's working with me in real estate. I have Reggie Buckner here on the podcast. So how you doing this morning, Reggie?
Good morning. Doing great, man. Happy Sunday to everybody.
All right. So Reggie, kind of give us your backstory, man, how we met briefly, and let's make it real brief because people don't want to hear just about me and you, but they want to hear about how you got started in real estate. So how do we meet briefly? And then tell me your backstory. What did you do before real estate?
Actually, social services, but actually, started from the beginning though. Actually, when we met, man, I think it was maybe 1995, 495. Somewhere in
Okay.
that time frame. Yeah, down in college. Yeah, it was interesting how we both have grown, since then. Prior to me being involved in real estate, I was actually social services, but always had that sense of in being intrigued by real estate, wanting to invest in real estate. Had a good feel for it,
So what was that inspiration? What made you intrigued about real estate versus, let's just say, something else? I know you have a social work background, why not stay solely in social work? What was the intriguing factor about real estate?
Well, honestly, when I was a little kid, raised by my granddad, he actually owns some real estate. So being influenced by him, going with him to some of the different properties and things as well. He's actually owned a strip mall, let alone a couple of residential, family
Okay.
home, so being around him in that element, and it's always, a need for residency. And then too now with today's flips, designs, and decors, it's like, you always feel good about being able to add your special touch, to make someone feel special about their purchase, and
Okay.
actually their next home.
Okay, great. So you initially had that itch because of your grandfather. He had the background in owning some property, commercial and residential real estate. Man, that's good, because not everybody have an opportunity to kind of grow up and see the ins and outs. So why didn't you continue on that track that your grandfather started, and then go into real estate? Because I know, kind of talking before air, you told me about, how your grandfather, had some problems with his real estate. So how did that affect you?
Actually, so at that time, because I was very young, I think it became very discouraging for him because of the way the markets and things were changing, at that time. So he didn't really remain like motivated in it and things like that, as well. Me being so young, not knowing, how the cycle of real estate in the market is always up and down, so as it go down, help but to go back up, you know. So, which is another part of my resilience is learning, you know, how to, which is something I wish I would have did, you know, back then, was learning how to just be able to hang in there, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
and stay with the pursuit of
Right.
happiness.
Yeah, I mean, hindsight is always 2020. You know, it's especially as we get older, we look back and say, yeah, shoulda, woulda, coulda. You know, and one of the old school sayings is people used to say, you know, if was a fifth, we'll all be drunk. So
Years.
right, right. So you saw your grandfather get into real estate. We met in college. Kind of fast forward, man. You were doing social work. How did you get back into real estate?
Actually, you yourself was a great motivator and inspiring individual, you know, to show that things are possible. You know,
Okay.
anything is possible because there's always been like some in and outs, you know, as far as me still trying to, you know, pursue some of my goals, but maybe it just wasn't the right connections, you know,
Gotcha.
with that specific leadership, you know.
Okay.
But at the same time, you know, I guess, you know, when some people see that, you know, you're dedicated, consistent with it, though, then it's like, okay, well, hey, give you a shot.
Okay. Because I know before in college and actually before I had started doing things in real estate, you were working with the team or trying to get up started with the team and things didn't quite go the way you wanted. Kind of what happened there? Because that could have been a big discouraging factor, you know, getting back into
Well,
real estate.
actually, that was a big discouraging factor
Uh-huh.
at that point as well, too, though, because that was me independently, you know, trying to be on my own. And I mean, real estate is the field of network, you know, and referral sources and things like that as well, you know. So at that time, it was a team, you know, and me, I'm seeing these guys, okay, they're doing great, you know, and I'm listening, they're telling me, you know, okay, cool. So I actually had when I was actually down in college, you
Okay.
know, but then it was like, you know, what they say is in the darkness will always come to light because some things were not really working out right, you know, for a lot of the buyers down there, you know, to the point where, I mean, some individuals actually, even as a consequence, was incarcerated, you know, behind
Oh, wow.
some,
Okay.
you know, the scam and the foul play, you know,
Okay.
because I mean, just flat out, you had some that was, you know, yeah, I'm gonna get you a home and I'm gonna get you $3,000 to $6,000 in your pocket, you know. Well, throughout that transaction, they had actually taken out the equity. Yeah, they may have given them the $3,000 to $5,000, you know, but where'd the rest of that money go? You know, so now you have,
Mm,
you know, college students, you know, who are actually trying to, you know, make power moves for them and their mature growth, you know, but at the same time was swindling. Now they have like $140,000, $150,000 debt, you know,
wow.
over a
Okay.
home that may have cost maybe no more than, I'm gonna say 50 max, you
Okay.
know.
Wow.
You know.
So yeah, and a lot of people get caught up in that, you know, the scams and everything like that with real estate because they are out there. So man, it was a good thing that you were able to see the writing on the wall and was able to say, you know what, this is not the right team that I want to be on, the right leadership I want to be up under. So kind of going forward, man, tell us about, you know, you were doing social work and everything like that. Me and you were kind of seeing what I was doing and you said, hey, you know what, I want to kind of jump in. Tell us about that first deal, man. Speak to those people that are trying to get that first deal, that is trying to move forward. You know, they may be in a career path that they don't like, they thought they did like, and now they're saying, you know what, I need to do something different. Tell us about that first deal.
Actually, I'll tell you about my first two
Okay.
experiences, you know, because again, here I am, you know, I'm very ambitious, I'm motivated. Okay, yeah, all right, I'm in, I got my shot, I got my chance, I got my opportunity, I'm excited, right? You know, so it was like the first potential deal, right? It didn't really quite work out so well in the end, you know, long story
Okay.
short.
What
We were trying,
happened? Yeah,
well,
what happened?
we there was a gentleman who was a seller on the east side of Chicago, and so you know we were going back and forth a little bit with the numbers, you know, with him. In the end, we us being us were really trying to work with him, but at the same time too, his numbers was not working out for our numbers, you know. So
Okay.
in the end, that deal didn't work. you know, sadly, but at the same time, you know, we were to part ways. Everything was okay at that. But as far as like somebody who's jumping in, like, man, you know, you always want to hit a home run your first time up the bat, you know, but
Yep.
that's not always possible. You know, you may be taking a few swings, you know, but
Mm-hmm.
actually, with that being said, the second swing, you know, was actually a closer. You know, and I've never been like one to like get down so easily and things like that. I wasn't, you know, it was just okay, next, you know, and
Okay.
so with
So
the next
so
one,
so real quick, Reggie, speak on that, because a lot of people, when they getting started and they think they have a seller on the line that they're about to close the deal and it don't go through, it becomes very, very deflating. So what can you tell them that they need to do in order to pursue and keep pushing forward?
oh, just simply that, you know, keep pushing forward, you know, and just have that understanding. Again, as I said prior, though, you know, with the market like being up and down, sometimes you have sellers up and down. I mean, we've had situations where we've been involved with a seller for like a whole entire year, you know, before we was able to actually, you know, close the deal, you know, with them, you know.
And that's not uncommon. And I talk to a lot of people about that. You know, they think, okay, I spoke to the seller immediately, the next, you know, week or two, they should be ready to sell. But like you said, that follow-up is very, very important. It could take a year following up with somebody in order to get them to sell.
The follow-up is mandatory. You know, it's very, very important because it also with the consistency of the sellers' families that you may be, you know, working with, you know, actually for them sometimes being very hesitant themselves because you're still running to a lot of that, you
Yep.
know, seller's remorse, you know, type thing, you know, where they want to sell, don't want to sell, you know, not sure about selling. Then they have these attachments to them and things like that as well.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, having that rapport, then they become more comfortable, you know, with you, you know, as an investor, as a buyer, as an individual first and foremost, you know, to where they actually able to have that trust, you know, within making the right decision, you know, for things to be able to move forward, you know.
And one of the things that I was impressed with you and working with you, yes, we're best friends, and people always say, you know, don't go into business, you know, with family and friends. But one of the things that I noticed about you was you always had that tenacity. You know, you would always push forward and move forward. Yes, you take a second, you say, all right, that didn't work out. Down for 24 hours. All right, let's pick up. Let's go back to where we was at and let's keep it moving. And that's one of the things that's important for you guys that's listening, is to make sure, you know, not every deal is going to get done. And you got to understand that if something falls between the cracks, something messes up, you just got to pick up and keep moving. I mean, just this week, we had two deals that we thought that we were going to close, boom, in and out. We come to find out they owed nearly $100,000 in back taxes. So
Yes, yes.
so you have those deals where you know, the seller, they will say, yes, I'm ready to go. And when you do that preliminary title report and search, you find out, oh, okay, this is the real reason why they want to sell. So tell us about, man, that first deal you actually closed. Give us the backstory on that.
Initially, it was the children of the seller, you know, who actually reached out to us, you know, because they were trying to help their mom out, you know, with selling a home initially. So we thought they were trying to help their mom out for selling a home. So as the day I go by there, you know, to do the walkthrough, you know, and lay some eyes on the home, you know, to see the potential for us, you know, meeting everyone. I mean, it was really nice initially and pleasant, you know, but somehow two different numbers, you know, that were in request. You know, the children had a different number, and when I actually spoke with the owner, you know, of which is the mother, you know, of
Mm-hmm.
the home, you know, she actually gave me a different number and a lower number, you know, and it wasn't a swindle number, you know, proposed by me at all. It was actually just flat out what she said herself, you know, because that's what she was at, you know, just go ahead and she didn't have self remorse. She was attached from the home. She was ready to go, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, you know, you have those kind of situations. I've had those experiences as well too, whereas, you know, you have the family involved,
Yep.
who's actually not the seller, whose name's not on the deed, whose name's not on anything really though, but they're all trying to work together so everybody can get a little piece of the pie. However, though, actually she was very pleasant about everything, and we were actually able to close that, and that was a wholesale, and
Okay.
actually even the ones who bought it though, to this day it still looks really, really nice though, because the home had great, great bones of potential.
So basically, guys, just to kind of bring you up to speed, Reggie does a lot of project management and walks properties and things like that for our team. So we always get on the phone, we talk with the seller, we have our callers talk with the sellers. And one of the things we try and do is we try and extract a number from the seller. We try and say, okay, perfect world, perfect scenario, you moving on to the next step. What is that number that you absolutely need to net in order for you to feel comfortable with this transaction? And we don't say
Right.
what you want to get, because everybody want to get $1 million for the house, but the house may only be worth 150. So she initially gave a number, and then when you went to the property, you met with a family member, I think it was a daughter or something like that.
It was the daughter.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they gave a totally different number.
A much totally higher, different number.
So what did you do in that instance? Because now you got two different numbers. You're basically kind of working with two different people. What did you do when she gave you that number?
I mean, it was simple actually though. The only number that really matters is the number from the owner, the one who has the name on the appropriate documents for owning the home. That's the number that really only mattered though. I didn't even entertain any numbers with the children at all. I mean, I was
Okay.
still cordial, and things like that. I mean, again, we still party, everybody's smiling, very comfortable in the situation, and then after, the seller and I had agreed, with the number that she had said, I mean, it was just, okay, let's go ahead and put things in motion, contract to you, once we sign it, and move forward.
Okay. So kind of staying with that theme there. You're going out to the property for the first time, you're meeting the family. When you're out there on that property inspection and walkthrough, tell us exactly what you're looking for those people that may be going out. They're not a contractor, don't have a contractor's background or anything like that. Kind of walk us through your process of walking through.
Initially, when I'm first walking in, it's the feel, what type of feel you get walking into the home. And that feel can go both ways, what type of feel do you get initially, walking in the home, and then also what type of feel can you put into this home, to support future people. Now as I'm going down specifics though, of course, we check windows, we checking electrical, we check plumbing, even though also because some of the whole homes are old, so you want to be aware of like asbestos and things like that as well too, and that's like a lot of exterior work, foundation leaks on the interior, making sure that from the exterior again that when you're looking at something like the trim around this, any separation, any trees, any roots that may be going toward the foundation, what type of updating, may need to be. If any at all, though, sometimes you may get lucky, where you may just have, as we would say, painted lipstick, some touch-ups, but, for an investor who's looking to flip, first and foremost, you're looking to see how much the cost would be, for ARVs, when you start to get into your rehab,
Okay. So how important is, and this may be a facetious question, but, kind of arriving, are you looking at the block, you looking at the neighborhood, kind of, because you're doing this in Chicago. So, it's block by block, neighborhood by neighborhood. It can be a drastic change. So what are you looking as far as in that neighborhood also?
Well, I'll tell you the truth. First, initially, before I even go to the property, I circle around the neighborhood, actually block for block, let alone the community itself. I'm trying to see what conveniences there are,
Okay.
If any, and how nearby, how close, seeing if they, have like the common things, schools, grocery stores, convenience stores, strip malls, things like that as well too. And also being in Chicago, you always also are looking for areas that are able to support like public transport, people who take public transportation,
Okay.
who commute through public transportation, so those are also kind of vital as well. You know,
So
go ahead.
so real quick, let's debunk one of the myths that we always hear, because Midwest and specifically Chicago always get a bad rap, and they always say, well, you know, it's so much gang violence, is shooting and everything like that. Kind of because you're in the heart of the city, kind of what are you seeing when you going into these neighborhoods? You know, is it, you know, people on the corner with their pants down and things like that? Or kind of give us the real scoop of what you're seeing out there.
Well, first, like really Chicago, as we always say, it's pocket town all around throughout the whole city, man. You can have, you know, so many square miles where it's beautiful and things like that. You can go on the viaduct, or you can go across the street this way, that way, and you'll have a whole totally different feel, you know, within the community. You know, so as I'm even driving to the location, you know, my whole, let's say my last maybe 3 to 5 miles, you know, if that, let alone, you know, a good strong 5-mile square radius, you know, circling around through the neighborhood, which really only takes 1 mile as you're getting closer and closer and closer to their home, just to kind of see what the feel is. You know, if there isn't any type of inappropriate activities, you know, that are going in these neighborhoods, you know, because at the same time too, if it is, that actually makes it even challenging for us. You think about when people are looking to buy, not just rent, you know, those
Right.
kind of different scenarios. You know, when people looking to buy, you're looking to buy in what type of area, you know, where it's going to be somewhat peaceful, you know, maybe a little busy, but at the same time, you're comfortable. You know, you're not having to worry about a lot of things that's going on in Chicago right now, you know. But those are also factors just in general, you know, beyond Chicago, just to look for, you know, what type of community activities, you know, as well too, though, you know, that you may even see going on, you know, within the neighborhoods.
Okay. So, and this is coming from somebody that's been doing this now for what would we say, about 4 or 5 years? Probably about that.
Actually strong 4 or 5 years, yeah.
Okay.
Because actually the first 2 years actually even longer than that.
Okay. All right. Perfect. So now so you talked about what you look for when you're going in through a home inspection. How is that conversation that you're having with the seller or with the seller's representatives, kids, or whatever, when you're going through the home? What exactly what's the conversation flow with them?
Well, more so trying to get as much information as possible about the home,
Okay.
you know. And the way I do it, I let them tell their stories, you know, because most of the time, you know, these are people who've owned the home for 20 plus years, you know, and some may have been, you know, even 50 years from their childhood life, you know, to them actually, you know, taking over the home as well too, you know, and I get and respect, you know, the sentimental value, you know, of that part, you know, but I'm more so listening for what has been updated, what needs to be updated, what needs to be replaced. You know, those are those important type of things that you really, you know, trying to obtain, you know, out of them. For example, you know, how old is the furnace, you know, the HVAC system period, you know, the roof, you know, plumbing and things like that, you know, for us as investors, you know, those are those, you know, important, you know, common things that you want to know, you know, as far as, again, like I said, what's the recent updates, you know, if anything has been done, you know, or, you know, just really trying to, you know, seek out that motivation for selling, you know.
Right. There you go. So one of the key things that I always tell people, and Reggie, you can attest to this, is always ask those open-ended questions. Go into the property, you know, even if it's a telephone call. Hey, how you doing? Is there anything that I need to know about the property? Or kind of walk me through the property. And then you just ask them, hey, I noticed a water stain over there. You know, tell me about this water stain on the roof. What happened there? You know, and they'll say, well, the bathtub overflowed, and then you can then further go into it. Okay, well then, did you guys have to have the insurance company to come out and replace things, or did you just let it dry up? So when you're asking those open-ended questions, you know, just have it conversational. And because you don't want to go in as an inspector, hey, how old was your roof? How old is this? How old is that? You know,
No. You don't want to intimidate anyone and things. You kind of actually just kind of, you know, probe it in the sense where, you know, hey, so tell me about the home, you know.
Yep.
And as you're going along, you know, you just kind of pitch, those certain needed questions that that we need to know.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let's take a brief break, hear a word from our sponsors. And when we come back, we're going to talk about Reggie's transition from what he was doing as far as walking on properties, which he still do that, but now to more so working with the contractors on the back end with the flip. So we'll be right back. Let's hear a word from our sponsors, and we'll be back with Reggie.
Finding real estate deals can be a challenge, but with Batch Leads, it doesn't have to be. Batch Leads has created a one-stop solution for all your real estate needs, so you can find more sellers, close more deals, and maximize revenue. Batch Leads offers a comprehensive suite of lead generating tools that cover text messaging, skip tracing, finding comps, and much more. Batch Leads help you simplify, manage, and organize all your data in one place. Batch will help you stack your lists and identify properties that appear on multiple lists and have multiple distress indicators. These sellers are likely to be highly motivated and eager to sell. Get the most powerful and complete lead generation platform in the industry. Locate sellers, buyers, and lenders nationwide in seconds. Go to batchlead.io and use promo code WeLoveEquity.
All right, guys, welcome back. We are here with Reginald Buckner, who is based out of Chicago, and he's actually a part of our team, one of my partners there in that market. And I have personally seen the transition go from never doing a deal, working with me, to now closing multiple deals. And now he's transitioned into working with contractors on the back end on our flips. So we just completed a couple of flips. So tell me, Reggie, how do you go through the process of vetting contractors and finding contractors? Because that's honestly one of the hardest things is, how do you know if this is a quality contractor?
Well, again, in the field of network, that's pretty much how it is, your referrals, but also too, like, let's say, you got someone, because it's like a big circle of us, somebody who's doing some things over here, somebody who's, doing a few flips over there and things, and so as you're looking, and if you're walking into that home and you're able to say, wow, this looks really nice. Oh my God, I love the floors. I like the detail, yada, 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 hey, who's the guy that did your work? And so there it goes right there. Now you have one referral, and then it goes to another because, we kind of like, a little diversity, and things. So, you try someone else, and give them an opportunity, and then it's like certain things that you look for, because you may like the way one do one thing and another does something else,
Okay. So really a lot of it is through networking and referrals.
The most of it is through networking and referrals.
Okay.
And again, like I said, unless you're able to actually lay your eyes specifically on something, and then when you do it, I mean, that just kind of prompts that question, like, oh, who did the work? Because everyone, when you like you see something that you like, it's, can I get them to do it for me?
Right. And I always tell people it's nothing new under the sun, especially when you're getting into fix and flipping. You're always on your phone or your computer. You're looking at projects that's going on in the area. And like you said, hey, I like the way they did this accent wall and this property. And then you may talk to your contractor. Hey, man, can you do something like this? And they, oh, no problem. We can definitely do that.
Well, nothing's never a problem.
Yeah, with a contractor, nothing is never a problem. Especially if you have the money, then they'll say, "Oh yeah, we can get it done, boss. There's no problem."
No problem.
So Reggie, when you're project managing a flip, a person look for when working with the contractor. So let's just say you're in the midst of doing a project and you're working with this contractor. What are you going in? What are you looking for before you get to that finished product? That the finished work. Let's just say if you're doing a demo and you're going through, and the contractors, because the contractors, they love to talk. They're gonna say, hey, we can do this, we can do that. What exactly are you looking for when you're walking through these properties?
The workflow. Initially, the workflow as I'm working with them. So let's say that, a contractor say that, okay, yes, I can do it for this price. I can get it done in, let's just say, hypothetically 2 months, right? So that's roughly 60 days. Okay.
Okay.
So as I'm going, week to week, to lay my eyes on it and view it. I'm trying to see the progression, like, are we going to be able to meet, our deadline? Also, the assembly of the crews, are you a 1, 2, 3 man crew, or do you have a team, because it's super great when you have a team, because you have, that start to finish with the gut, the framing, then it's what's next, plumbing, what's next, electrical, so I'm looking for that flow,
Okay.
because it's like, for me, you love to see, completion week by week by week,
There you go.
versus, some things get stagnant. I mean, of course, you always run into some things, but, not 3 weeks in, we still doing plumbing, 3 weeks,
Right.
we still doing framing, those type of things, so that's why I say I'm always looking for that workflow, because,
Okay.
for a contractor, to call me and say, okay, we got this done, and next week we're doing this. Great.
Yep.
So things are moving, what they say, according to plan, right along.
Right. Just making sure
Now,
they hit those timelines. Go ahead.
yeah, and at the same time too, though, although, I mean, you're moving fast, but I also want to make sure that it's efficient as well. My character, our character, we want to put out, great quality. Like, you
There you
have
go.
some, just throw stuff together and things, but we want to put out good quality, because again, someone who's buying this is going to be their home, so you want them to be comfortable and feel like that, that they're secure in their home.
Okay. All right. So just kind of give us, like, what was a surprise that you encountered with a contract, and you like, okay, we didn't budget for this, but what is it? What do we need to do to get it right so we can get this property back on track?
Well, even us, and I think that was something I had to learn too, though, where everybody numbers can be off, so you may, kind of guesstimate, it may only take roughly 70,000, but then when you actually start getting into it, because sometimes you don't know, well, really, you don't know what's behind those walls, but sometimes you get into some situations to where when you do get behind those walls, it costs you a couple extra more thousands, of dollars and things like that. So it's
So
like,
give us an example of one that you ran into.
actually, I could say it for both flips. Again, behind the walls, plumbing. With the first one that we had, there was something with the bathroom, something with the plumbing within the bathroom, but the wall itself got busted over like 4 times.
Yeah.
Because they addressed the issue, thought it was fixed, addressed it again, thought it was fixed. So I mean, it took a total of 4 times, to get it actually right.
And one was like 2 days before closing.
That was that one.
Yeah.
So, I don't, they really finally, I give them some credit though, but they had to go, I think, actually that wall into another wall, bust up 2 walls, as a matter of fact, just kind of fix that problem, and I give them guys credit though, they did it and got it, ready for close. And then the next one, you never know until it rains. So when it rains, they say it really does pour. So here we are, feeling like, excited, with the progression that we made. Okay, cool. The final touch-up stage, so we can go ahead and stage and go ahead and list, right?
Yep.
But then all of a sudden, when it rained, it did pour, because we ended up getting some water in the basement, to where we had to take out, not a piece of a wall, like the whole width, of the wall inside the basement, because again, you don't want to just do patchwork. You really want to find out where the source is coming from, and so, we took care of it, we addressed it, inside and out, but again, it's like, you feel like you're at the end of that tunnel. Well,
Yeah.
you may have a little more tracks to go,
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, but just, guys, just hang in there, and in the end, it's still worth the fight. It's just that I think, for us as investors, though, sometimes, it hit your pocket, because it's like, wow, I got to come out more thousand, got to come out a couple more, I got to come out, come out, which can be discouraging, but you're always thinking about the end game, what's the value,
Right.
and in me finishing in the completion, of the project,
And you still got to get the project done no matter what. So
Yes.
it's not like you're going to patch up the wall and leave it like it is, because integrity and good craftsmanship is always first and foremost. So Reggie,
Definitely.
we're going to put you on a hot seat real quick, man. We're going to put Reggie on a hot seat.
Sure.
Starting over, man, what would you do differently?
Starting over, I wish I would have started earlier. At this point, it can continue where we are. Again, you just understand, like I said, the market's up and down. So I think maybe spread out more, on the investing side, because, we've done a bit on the south side of Chicago, but again, we are Chicago. So I think it's just expanding, and being more open to different parts of their markets, north side, west side, and then also in our suburban areas as well.
Okay.
So I think it's just, for me, just expanded,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And then what do you believe is one characteristic every high producing investor should have?
Patience and dedication.
Okay.
Patience and dedication. Because again, like I said, everyone wants to hit a home run, first bat, then it does, get a little, I guess, frustrating, overwhelming, because it's like things not working, but then all of a sudden, boom,
Yeah.
you catch the right one, and then or you start catching a slew of them, So first and foremost is of course your ambition, your dedication, but yet you definitely need patience.
Okay. So in part, man, we're gonna wrap this all up, tie it all together. In part, give us a few words of encouragement for those people that may be at that wall or they at the plate and they just trying to swing home runs every time. What would you tell them real quickly, real briefly? Give them some words of encouragement that they can take away from this podcast and understand, hey, you know what, I need to keep going.
Well, first I say trust your heart.
Okay.
If it was in your heart when you first got into it anyway, trust your heart. Stay consistent. If you think about, like, let's just say celebrities, for that fact, not every initial first song was a hit song, movie was a hit movie and things, but just staying, true to your heart, your passion, just you really have a passion for, your desire, stay consistent and things will work out, along with like doing your due diligence, following up, reading on certain things, communicating, networking definitely is a must, because sometimes when you network, you never know what you may just come across, which might have been exactly what you was looking for.
Okay.
So again, I definitely say, stay true to your heart, trust your heart.
All right, guys, you have it. There you go. Reggie says, stay true to your heart, stay true to your passion. If it's something that you truly want to do, just get after it and stick with it. Reggie, man, I really appreciate it. This was actually, I wanted to get you as a team member on here, man, just to talk to people so they can see, hey, how it went from, yeah, I kind of want to do real estate. I was thinking about it, had some bad turns back in the days, and now it's like, all right, Marcus, I kind of see what you're doing, man. What do I need to do in order to kind of do and mimic what you're doing so I can get back into real estate? So I wanted to bring you on. I really appreciate it, brother, for you being here, man. And I'll let you enjoy the rest of your morning and your day. I kind of got you up a little bit early to do this.
All right. The bird gets the worm, man. The bird gets the worm.
You got it. You got it, man. So we love equity listeners. Remember, you can find all of this information, this podcast on all your Apple products, everywhere you can find podcasts, and also on YouTube. And remember, you can always follow me on MRCS Maloney on Instagram, MRCS Maloney on Facebook. Reggie, you got any handles you want to share, social media, for people to follow you?
I'm not at the moment right now, guys, but I definitely will be. A lot of things working, got things on the platform coming to you soon.
All right. Okay. So remember to always, always, always enjoy the journey. All right, guys, that was Reggie Buckner. I wanted to bring him on. Funny story. We met back in college and always stayed real close, everything like that. And he was following me on Facebook, and me and him would talk periodically, me being out here in Arizona, but being from Chicago. And I was letting him know, hey, man, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing. And he said, well, how can I do what you're doing? I always had that hunger and that thirst for real estate. How can I do what you do? And one of the things that I did, I pulled him close and I said, hey, look, this is exactly what I'm doing. Laid everything out for him. And now, he's doing multiple flips, working with us, as a team, going on some of our projects and things of that nature, and really starting to hone his craft in the real estate space out there in Chicago. So I just want to thank Reggie again for being on the show. And guys, remember, if you can dream it, you can believe it. It's possible. That's one of the things that Reggie said. Follow your heart, get out there, and just start doing what you truly want to do. It will not happen overnight. It will not happen, in a year or two, maybe. It's a long process. It's a tenuous process because, again, nature, the universe, God, he's going to challenge you, and he's going to say, okay, this is what you want to do. How determined are you in order to accomplish this goal? What are you going to put forth in order to make this happen? These are roadblocks you're going to face. Are you willing to overcome those roadblocks? Like Reggie said, there was times, he would go out on appointments and nothing happened, constantly going out on appointments, and I had to encourage him and say, hey man, just keep going. Keep going. It's going to pop. It's going to work for you, but you just have to keep going. So guys, I'm here for you. Just wanted to share those words of encouragement with you. Remember, you can always, again, go to MRCS Maloney on IG and Facebook, on YouTube as well. And you can also go to my website, marcusemaloney.com. That's marcusemaloney.com. Download your free contract or speak with me personally. Get a free 15-minute consultation with me. I am starting to stop those consultations. And I know I've been saying this for a while, but now everything has been so busy with what we're doing and the students that we're working with and the people that we're coaching along the way, to where I really don't have there's really time constraints on my time right now. So you better get in now while the opportunities still last. And then again, we have some things that's going to be coming out on our platform that we can share, where you can work directly with me. You can work directly with another one of my partners as well, if you're local here in Arizona. So those things will be coming soon. Within the next 30 to 60 days, things will be launching. So I look forward to working with you. Look forward to speaking with you. And then if this podcast is providing value for you, remember, give us a 5-star review, follow us on Instagram, like us on Facebook, and then also subscribe to the YouTube channel at MRCS Maloney. All right, guys, enjoy your day. Just wanted to be here for you once again. It's Marcus Maloney, the Equity King, here signing off. Thank you for listening to today's show. I picked up some great actionable items, and I'm sure you did as well. If so, let me know. You can always reach me via social media at facebook.com/MRCS Maloney, Twitter at MRCS Maloney, and of course, IG at MRCS Maloney. You can also always reach me via email at mmaloney@equityri.com. Make sure you reach out to our guests as well. You can always find their contact information in the show notes below. If you have not subscribed already, what are you waiting for? Join the family. And while you're at it, leave us a 5-star review. This is how we tell if we're providing you with what you need for your journey. If there's someone you would like for me to interview, or if there's a subject matter you would like for me to cover, please let me know. Finally, if you're looking for additional information about real estate investing, go to equityrealestateblog.com. Also, youtube.com/Marcus Maloney. Until next time, family, always enjoy the journey.